Hi, I'm Tiffan Borelli. I graduated from OCU in 2004 with a bachelor's in music, and then in 2006 with a master's in music.
And my name is Mann, and I graduated from OKCU in 2006 with a Bachelor of Music.
Yeah.
Transferred in actually from another university, my third year of school, and spent 3 years here and learned, everything I know about the biz and about singing and about how to make it, I guess, for me.
We met your first
week of
here. School. Kiss Me Kate. Classic Cole Porter.
Yeah, we both got it. We were the leads in the show.
We wunderbarred that.
Yeah.
And ever since we are just,
been really close.
Two peas in a pod.
And we've been singing Wunderbar ever since.
Yeah, really. As much as we can.
No, for real, like that time on the street, like we totally sang it in New York.
Did we?
Yeah, we did.
I believe you.
We totally did. Anyway.
So let's see. Our time at OCU. Where do we start?
You spent quite a bit more time here.
I was here before you and after you.
No, we left at the same time.
Good. We left at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had heard about OCU because I was a Oklahoma native, and if you're in Oklahoma, where you go to school is OCU.
I mean, yeah.
I only auditioned at one school.
Me too. It's
really true, and I knew I wanted to get in here, and I knew I had to go here, and luckily for me, it worked out.
Totally.
So I started freshman year, living in the dorms, had a couple of friends from school, but I met students from everywhere, and OCU immediately embraced me, which I'm very thankful for. Dr. Herendeen and of course Florence Birdwell, and they threw me, Jan McDaniel really threw me in the deep end, and man, they almost believed in me before I did. I mean, of course you have to believe in yourself to come to audition and gather that aria together and sing and see how that goes, but then it's in college that you really come into your own. And for me, that was definitely the case. High school was when I was sort of figuring out, can I do this for a living? What do I do? What roles do I do in this world of all these musicals? And OCU really helped clarify that for me. You find you find those idols and those people that influence and inspire you, and then luckily they do those shows here, and you work really hard, and then you get cast, and then from then on out, it's just such a process of becoming that.
Diligence.
Yeah. Eye on the prize.
Definitely.
Hard work.
Yeah. I studied at the University of North Texas. I studied opera, and I was working doing professional gigs in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and I decided that musical theater was what I wanted to do. And a friend of mine said, well, you need to go up to Oklahoma. There's a couple schools up there that are really good. I was like, oh, okay. And I looked into a couple of others, and it wasn't the best fit for me. OCU had the music background that I felt was strong enough for me to continue my education. And I was really, really attracted to the production value of the works that they do here. So I came up and auditioned, and I saw West Side Story.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, whoa, this school is awesome. They must have money because things are moving. And
a real set.
It was
lights
a real
and
production.
Professional quality.
Yeah.
For me, it was Sweeney Todd. I was with Scott Guthrie.
With Scott Guthrie.
Lizzie Kingsley. Oh my gosh. I saw Dr. Herendeen in the lobby, and I was just like, hello, I'm coming to your school next year, and I'm going to do that. You know what I mean? Just trying to want to see where I wanted to go, to see where I could go here, that I could be on that stage in the middle of that, in the near future. It was so exciting.
I bet it was.
It was.
Yeah, it was during my audition that it happened. I only auditioned in one place, like she said, and I said, listen, if they give me money, I'll go, and that ended up working out for me. The shows, however, was a huge part of my training. Not just the shows, but the audition process for the shows. We had 3 operas, 3 musicals.
Oh.
The drama department had 6
plays.
To
audition for all
and
of
we
them.
auditioned constantly. And I think that is, I am completely grateful for my training vocally and acting and dancing and all of that. It's been a huge help. But auditioning, I think, would be my biggest immediate direct route to New York City and how my success flourished, because so many people are incredibly talented and then get caught up in auditions, you know?
Yeah, getting caught up.
I feel like with our practice and how much we auditioned, by the time I got to New York, I was like, oh, I know how to do this.
Because you knew how to get this to the role here was to know the show backwards and forwards, to be prepared, to know what you're singing, to make sure you're doing your vocal work in your lessons.
Yeah.
And that's really the same. It's knowledge, and it's about being prepared.
Preparation.
And because there were so many, you're right, opportunities and so many shows, and you had to do your research. And those of you,
I just taught a class yesterday.
There was such a difference of those who were like, I'm going to sing a song. And then, you know, I know the show. This is where I fit. This is what I'm going for. This is my clearest way to audition for this.
Absolutely.
You know, that's a huge part of the business.
And it's the biggest part of your life when you first move to New York. Like, you audition way more than you work when you're first starting out.
Oh,
so
yes.
For me, knowing how to audition well was a huge factor. Beyond that, the environment here of being able to see other things and to study with world-renowned, you know, professors is just like, you can't really find it everywhere. And
also I have to throw in, I know you're a big time dancer, and I really wasn't at all. The dance department, I was able to level into the dance department eventually, which was a big personal goal for someone who started dance way later than I wanted to. But they gave me a lot of confidence that could get me in. I remember when I was doing lyric theater in the summers, it was the dance schools. It was their encouragement, basically saying, you guys are smart. You know, you can do this. You're doing this every day. It's not like you started late. You're doing this now. And they gave me the confidence to have that extra the essential element, especially of being in an ensemble for a summer season. It was a non-negotiable. And
yes,
I did get that here as well, which I still, you know, I do not consider myself a dancer, but I do move very well, and I get to do that a lot because of the confidence.
Yeah, that's a huge benefit of being here, is that a lot of schools have a separate department dance-wise for their music theater students, and we had the direct link to the same professors who were taking the same classes as the dance performance majors. And I think for me, I dance for every audition. There's not a show that I've done that I've not danced for. And
I saw you last night. You was dancing last night. This great pink Joseph brother. I was in the back row of the balcony, and I was like, I can see him. He danced the whole time.
It's true. And I've worked with amazing choreographers and directors in New York and all over the country. I've performed in over 35 states.
Oh my gosh.
And, you know, it's because of the training here that I'm really able to book those kind of gigs. Now, that doesn't mean that your training stops here. Like, you always continue learning.
But it's the foundation.
But it really is the strongest.
And I mean, vocally, of course, that's I think that's the huge part. I think it's that foundation, and that, you know, these auditions sometimes are very early in the morning, and you have to know your voice enough to be like, my audition's in, you know, at 10 a.m. and you have to know your instrument, and you get to know that here. You have, I mean, we would have a lesson a week, a technique lesson, and then several master classes. And that
format's not everywhere. I studied in an opera program, and we didn't have that much exposure to our teachers. So. And
personally, for me, the classical background here in the world, that's what I've found. That is a very rare gift in the training. Last year I did 2x2 at the York, and I sang The Golden Ram, which is basically an aria of musical theater, and I got cast 2 days before it started, and it was with Jason Alexander and like Martin Charnin, and I'm sitting at a table literally 2 days, and I sang the aria in college. And we were doing a table read, and they were like, okay, and I hadn't even got the script yet. They handed it to me at the audition, at the first day.
First reading.
And they were like, we're not going to sing through, but then Jason started singing through his songs, and I thought, oh my gosh.
I better sing.
And here's this aria at like 10:30 that I literally could just do because it was just part of my 8 songs a semester, you know? And I thought only because of that training was that so, you know, possible right now. And it's things that you sort of don't realize when you're doing it because it's just the work. You're just like, well, I have to do this. I still have dreams about like, I only have 7 songs and my jury's tomorrow and like I don't have an 8th song. I don't know why I still have that dream. Isn't that weird?
That is weird.
I know. I don't know what that is.
That's funny.
But yeah, it was for, I mean, like opera and classical works.
Yeah.
And
it's you would never be a contemporary or jazz dancer in a professional company without having a ballet technique. You just wouldn't.
You're right.
And the same goes vocally. If you don't have the proper classical training, you can't produce the same amount of quality and nuance and musicality than someone, you know.
And side note, I also teach at Concordia College in Bronxville, and we have, it's primarily classical music.
Nice.
That's what the students learn. And I work in, classical musical theater as well. But usually the classical teachers don't do musical theater. And I'm the opposite case where I do a lot of musical theater and I'm aware of the classical music because I studied it.
Yeah, you're capable of doing both because of what you've got here, you know?
Right.
It's great.
Hearing all those, all those arias, especially with the man, I'm like, what are those arias that Will and Tim and Scott sang? You know what I mean?
It's
you
true.
think like those 24 Italian things.
Oh yeah, I've still got the books in storage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just part of our DNA.
It's true.
It is.
OKCU, it's part of us.
It is. It will be forever.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah.